I don't know, man. I don't know, because it's definitely happening. I know that you've noticed that, like, you're either a mega star or you're the same, like, there's like, I don't know, thousands of bands on the same level.
I was pretty shocked actually at the venue. I was expecting, I would figure like it would be a lot bigger, but I
Well, a few years it probably would have been, but I mean, we've been around for a long time.
Anything.
No, this is still great what we're doing, I love, and I think it's kind of cool that we've come down from like a really high height and are still able to have like a real fan base and a real show and a real crowd after the fad is passed. You know, nobody would say Scream was a fad at this point. Like, if anything, there's a backlash, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think, like, we're lucky to have escaped that and still be a real band, and a band that is credible beyond this stupid fad, you know what I mean?
Right.
But, so yeah, it's great. Like, I love playing Places No Barricades, like, getting people's space. It's great. It's a total joy for me to get to come back to this now, you know what I mean? We started in basements. If we end in basements, I'll be just as happy, you know?
So that makes it easier than if you have to deal with not having money or financial security.
Well, that's hard. That's hard. I mean, when we were making a killing doing the band, it wasn't like, I'm going to be rich for the rest of my life. It was like, well, this year I'm going to be able to pay all my bills. You know what I mean? So coming down and not making as much money and actually having to think like, well, I better be smart this year, and while I'm home I better do this job or that job. That's a lot harder, but I don't know. You know, you never can tell which is better. I find myself being happier now than I was when we were at the height of our fame. So
is that just because now you feel like you have more connection with the people you talk to, or you're just happier with the environment?
Yeah, I couldn't really. Maybe I'm older, and it's easier to be a little bit older. You know,
have
have
I'll show
perspective.
You. I'll come in with you.
Oh shit! Sorry. It's easier to write music, not having as much expectation placed on the band.
Being on a major label was pretty pressure intensive.
Not even the major label. It's just kind of like when Full Collapse was such a success, like out of nowhere. People were like, their next record, like they're the next Nirvana, saying all these crazy things that we could never have like fulfilled. You know what I mean? 1 in a million band probably could have. And it has nothing to do with even like talent. It's just sometimes you get lucky and you write a masterpiece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love War All the Time. For me, it's a real personal achievement, but it's not like Nevermind. You know what I mean? It wasn't the record that was going to change like generations to come.
Right. My newspaper just made it onto the top 50 records of the decade.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
That's great. No, I mean, I am. That's the thing. I am really proud of it, and I know that Thursday's had an actual, you know, tangible influence on the decade of music, which to me is crazy. Like, I was in a band that influenced the decade of music. Like, that's great. But at the same time, it's a lot more fun to be in a band that just comes up and decides what they're going to play every night, and when they write music, say like, I'm feeling that song, not like, no, is that the song that's gonna like change it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous, because once you're thinking about that stuff anyway,
then nothing you ever write is good enough.
And it's funny because I heard like just 1 second of your interview with the Dillinger guys. He said that Jake says that Jake from Converge says he tries not to think about fans or anybody when he and there was a part of me that used to think, like, I could, you know, anticipate what Thursday fans would want, or whatever. The thing is that I could paint by numbers, write any of our records over again, and I think there's a certain amount of our fans that would like that.
Right.
But the thing that's the same thing. Yeah, the thing that's so great about music, though, is the surprise, the real actual inspiration that I know gets thrown around all the time, but that moment when you do something new and different and you feel how it links into your band and it's really creating something and you're like, oh shit, what a great idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I actually just had a great idea. Like, I need to make this work. Right. And those are the things that you wouldn't get if you just took into account what everybody wants from you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So in a sense, like, nobody knew to ask us for understanding in a car crash after we had written our first record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if we had not written it, then it would have been like a huge disappointment to like all of our fans. It would have been a huge loss to all of our fans that they didn't even know they were looking for. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think every record you get lucky that way. You write some song that's just great and nobody expected it, but it's awesome. Right. You know what I mean? So you have to let yourself just get in that zone where you're doing your best and you're writing and you hope that everybody that likes you will like it, but sometimes you just gotta forget about all that and write something better than what they want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes you write something that sucks along the way. Something that just sucks. You listen back to it and you go like, bad idea. But the idea that you were trying to get a good idea, that's not the bad idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? The intention of writing that song isn't the bad idea. It's the fact that it just turned out shitty.